Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Lay and this is my beauty channel. So I know I've been doing nail videos a lot, and that's because I'm in the process of moving. So, you know, doing my nails is a little easier than like whipping out everything for my makeup. And you know, like I have to put up the backdrop, and that's just the type of situation that I'm working with. So this is what I have going on now. These nails were actually done maybe like a month or so ago, and I just never got around to editing the video so that I could put it up. So I'm doing it now just because I wanted to have something to film, because I am going to be moving in the next 2 weeks, so I won't have as much content up until maybe mid-September. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So right here I'm just removing these nails. I did have 3 come off. This was after like a 2.5 week period. These are the yellow nails. If you guys saw my yellow nail video, which will be up in the cards, this was just like, you know, fun summer nails. So the next set that I'm actually going to do are going to be some marble nails, but you guys probably knew that from the thumbnail. So to remove my nails, I like to take my e-file, and you can use a regular file if that's what you have, and I just removed as much of the extension as I possibly could. And then I'm taking some cotton balls, soaking them in acetone, and then taking these little clips that I got off of Amazon, and I'm just covering my fingers with them. Now, you don't have to like completely saturate the cotton ball, but the problem that I seem to run into is that, you know, because it's cotton, it just absorbs everything. So my cotton balls are typically kind of very saturated. So I like to go over the dish and kind of like, when I squeeze it closed, whatever drips out just goes back, and we pretty much recycling that acetone. So now that my nails have sat and soaked in acetone for about 15 to 20 minutes, I kind of just use my scraper to scrape all of the product off of my nails. And I use like my little cuticle nipper to help pull up anything that is lifted, and then you're left with like a nail. You can re-soak your nails if you need to, if there's still a lot of like tight product on there, but I did a pretty good job of like filing it down. So here I'm just taking my cuticle bit. This is the one with the pointy tool, and I'm getting rid of any of my cuticles. What I would suggest doing prior to this is to take your cuticle pusher and push back your cuticles, and anything that's left sitting up, then go in with the cuticle bit to lift it up. I don't know why I did it this way. I just did. I'm sorry if you could hear my daughter in the background. You know, it's back to school, so everybody in the house is trying to find a quiet space to work, and when you have a house full of multiples, that is very difficult to do. Don't know why the schools felt like that would work. Anyways, I'm using my well, what I just used was my cuticle, I guess it's like a cuticle razor, because I'm not good with the scissors. So I just, you know, cut my cuticles, and here I'm pushing back anything that is lifted. Sorry, that was Callie. Anything that was lifted or, you know, could cause a problem as far as potential lifting. And now I'm just getting rid of that shine. So I'm taking my buffer, I'm getting rid of the, you know, that top layer which has the shine, and I'm cutting my nails down off of the free edge. I like to do this because I just feel like when I add the glue, it's able to adhere better, because we don't have, you know, all this free edge there. And then also it gives it a chance to grow out, and I don't have like all this extra nail underneath my nail. So the first step I'm going to do in adding my extension is dehydrating my nails. If there's any moisture on your nails, that's what's going to cause lifting. The dehydrator that I'm using today, this is by Modle 1. So I have their dehydrator and primer. The primer and dehydrator are actually really good. What I do suggest doing is, if you are going to use the primer, do 2 coats. So I do like to do 1 coat of the dehydrator and then 2 coats of the primer. and that'll make sure that your nails don't pop off, they don't, you know, start lifting, all that great stuff. So I explained in my last video the reason why I like to use the long stiletto nails. So right here I'm just sizing it up. I did make a little bit of a mistake, and I'm just going to explain to you what happened. So right here I am adding the nail on, but you want to do it as close to the free edge as possible. I feel like I put it too close to like the nail part. The reason I say that is when you add your extension, any part that is open is what's going to get the extension. So the rest of it is just holding on to glue. So right here you see that there's just a bigger space, and this is just something that I just recently learned, and I just wanted to throw it out there. So if there is any lifting, if you have it too far back, it'll lift up in the front. You can get water under there, and the rest of the nail is being held down by an extension, so you don't even know that that's happening. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So now I'm just shaping the nails and buffing off the smoothness of the extension so that the polygel will have something to adhere to and it'll stay longer. So this is the nail primer by Model 1. Again, I'm going to do 2 coats all over my nails, and this is going to help my nails to stay and last long. I think these nails lasted me about 2.5 weeks. It was going on 3 weeks, and I didn't lose any. Yeah, I didn't have any of them come off. I just literally just had them start. They did start lifting in the back, you know, from like wear and tear, bumping them, especially on my right hand. Yeah, my right hand. So especially on my right hand, I tend to have more like lifting and bumping because I am right-handed, so that's what happens. So this is the Beetle brand, and I am using their base coat and their what's called the base foundation and their top coat. I love this brand as a whole, period. They I want to say they're organic, not organic. They don't test on animals. So whatever it is that they use, it's like really good for the environment. They're not hurting anyone. I really love this brand, period, and their products seem to work really nice, really well. So I do have their polygel, but I'm not going to be using it today. I'm going to be using Gershion. This is the Gershion Natural Pink, which is a really pretty baby pink, and that's going to be the base for us today. I am not going to cover my nail and then paint over it with polish. Today, this is going to be our nail polish color, but don't worry, have no fear. I do love this color. It is really pretty. So if you watched my yellow video, I was telling you about the different techniques that I have been practicing as far as getting my my extensions to look the way that I want them to. I do kind of want them to have a more crisp side and top, and I think that that helps give it a more, what's the word, polished look. So right here I am doing the 2-bead method, which is a method that I do enjoy and I love it so much. But let me give myself a little critique so that when you do your nails you won't have these issues. The bead that I used for the end of this nail is too big. It's too thick for me to do 2 beads. But what I did was I just made it work, and I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest doing a smaller bead so that the bead is a little thinner so that you can have that crisp look. One thing that I did mention in my last video is to make sure that if you get the sides and the front, you can kind of create the structure of the nail that you want. So I like to push on the sides a lot and pat the front, and you can see it's a little more square than it was the first time. But what will happen if you add too much product is you will start to lose that shape that you created when you shaped the nail. Does that make sense? So just make sure that you pay attention to that, because like I loved the way these nails came out. I was extremely excited about them, as you heard in the yellow nails voiceover, because I had these nails on when I did that voiceover. I was very pleased with these. These were my favorite at the time, but I did improve since, and I do love the way it looks. I would just do as I say and not what I do. So I also, when I did the cuticle bead, you just want to make sure that you press it into the cuticle area and not onto your cuticles, and try to make sure that there is a small hairline gap between the two, because if it grabs onto any of your cuticle as it grows out, your cuticle is going to push it up, it's going to lift, water is going to get under there, and that's when that yellows and green stuff forms on your nails. And if that's on your nails for too long, it can get dark green and it can turn black, and then you won't be able to have any type of extension. If it's like a yellow or like a yellow green, like a stain, then you can still like put like nail polish over it. But if it's like a dark green or like a black or blue, you need to take your extension off completely and just let it air out. So this nail, again, I added way too much product, and this is, like I said, it's a learning curve for me. So yeah, this nail was a little fat, and I don't want my nails to be fat, but I'm just telling you so that you guys won't do this. Use a smaller bead. That's all I have to say. Just make sure you use a smaller bead. So I did the other nails off camera. Typically in these videos, I only do my thumb and my index, because I do like to hold my fingers closer to my face so that I can make sure that they are, straight and everything. And it's difficult for me to do it in this position the whole time. So as you can see, I have it turned away from me, and then I turned it to myself just so that I can look at the nail through all angles. I suggest doing that just to make sure that you get your nails the way you want them to. Look at them from all angles so that there's no surprises. The great thing about poly gel is you can move it until you cure it. So just pay attention to that. So once my nails are done, I'm taking some alcohol and I'm rubbing off the inhibition layer, the little sticky layer, and then you can go ahead and move on to filing and shaping the nails. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking my file, I am shaping it, I'm taking off that top layer, the little sticky layer, and getting everything all nice and smooth. The great thing about poly gel, you don't typically need an e-file to get it nice and straight. This is my buffer, so I'm buffing this before I add any type of polish. But yeah, like I was saying, you don't need the e-file to get it straight. That's typically if you're using like acrylic, because it can be lumpy because it's a lot harder. But right here, like you can see the shape, it is exactly what I wanted. And now all my nails are shaped and done and buffed and ready for polish. So I wanted to show you guys this little trick that I don't want to say I came up with, but I haven't seen anyone do it. I wanted to do marble nails. So I'm getting my LEN White nail polish. I'm taking my Beetles top coat, and I actually also use the Beetles base coat to create some really nice marble nails. And then right here, I am taking out my stones. I wanted to be fancy and use one of the big stones, and I'm also going to be using some copper or rose gold foil. So right here, I'm showing you my nail. And I'm going to start by taking some base coat, and I'm going to paint it over the nail. This nail again has been buffed and shaped and is ready to go. So I did I want to say I was pretty generous with the base coat before I moved on to the white nail polish. I'm taking a very hair thin art brush, and I'm taking that white polish and I'm just kind of creating the lines that you see on marble. And I was actually looking at a picture of some marble when I was doing this. The great thing about putting it on the wet base coat, I forgot to mention that, put it on the wet base coat, is that it'll start to spread, and that would actually give you a really, really nice looking marble look. So I'm just taking my brush and moving it along the side, and then when I have it the way I want, I'm going to cure it, because it's going to keep spreading until you cure it. So once I've cured it, it still has that sticky layer from the base coat, and I'm taking my foils. So then I'm just taking my foils and I'm placing that randomly. It doesn't even have to be perfect. That's what's great about marble nails, is that it doesn't have to be perfect, and actually the foil will really help, any areas that you felt don't look as good. I just love the way this came out. It was very messy all over the place, but super easy. So I did this to actually all of my nails except for one on each hand. I did my middle finger on one hand and then my ring finger on another hand, and that's the one that I actually added the stone to. So right here I'm just playing with more of the white just so that it has like that little line. And this is how the other nails came out. It's just like literally trial and error. Like, the more messy, just add foil. Like, when in doubt, add foil. It will work, let me tell you. So I don't have like nail gem glue or anything because I don't wear gems that frequently. So I just piled on the top coat here, and I'm adding, this is the smallest large gem out of this set, but this was like my introduction to gems because I've never worn them before. But let me tell you, I loved it. It was so pretty. So I added this to the center of my nail, and then I'm taking some of the other like holographic small dot gems and I'm adding them to the side and the tip of this little gem situation. I actually really like this, I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was so cute and so easy to do. Just adding the gems just did something a little different for this nail. And then once I did that, I took my top coat and I placed it all around the gems, not on top. And then I just, you know, top coated the rest of the nail, and that's it. Once I have that cured, I'm going to add my Sally Hansen cuticle oil all around my cuticles because, you know, they just took a beating with all this filing and whatnot. And, you know, get all that dust off so that you can reveal these beautiful pink marble and copper nails. And that pretty much completes this nail tutorial, or, you know, watch me do my nails. I'm not a professional. As you can see, the ends are not as crisp as I would like them, but nevertheless, I loved this look. Just make sure that you do thinner beads. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you appreciate this nail tutorial. I hope you guys like the nail videos because I actually really enjoy making them. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to finish growing this year. I'm growing really, really slow, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time, beauties. Mwah, stay blessed.